Live, KHOU 11 News at noon starts now.
Now at noon, we are starting with flooding on the east side of town. You are looking at a live picture of the East Loop at Market Street, where the lanes between the concrete barriers have become rivers. This is just south of I-10.
And here's more video from earlier near downtown Houston. We are under weather watch, so let's get right to Mario with a look at what's causing all these pop-up storms. Hey, Mario.
Hi, it looks like, Ron, we are going to see these tropical downpours throughout the afternoon, even through this evening. These are producing as much as an inch per hour across the northeast loop. You can see the thunder and the lightning. Heavy thunder showers here. As we zoom in on this area of town, we have seen as much as 1 to 2 inches of rainfall right here in the Market Street area off of 610. This is right about in this spot. All this rain has been tracking very slowly to the north at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And it's that slow motion that's creating this flash flooding. Now, I anticipate possibly a flash flood advisory being issued later this afternoon. If this continues, here's the west side, west of Cinco Ranch. These showers slowly moving on towards Katy, towards the north, as you can see, from Cinco Ranch to Pecan Grove towards the Cinco Ranch area. Lots of thunder showers. And this is something else you're going to see throughout the day, mainly along the coast. We have had reports of funnel clouds being sighted by our viewers. This is a photo from Jeff Ryan in League City. Again, you can vividly see that water spout right there, or that funnel cloud. We're going to see more of this, more tropical downpours, and another 1 to 3 inches of isolated, localized heavy rain, even overnight, as a cold front moves through. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Mario. Now to a traffic update along the Southwest Freeway near Midtown. We have got a live look through our Houston TransStar cameras. This is at Spur 527 at the Southwest Freeway outbound. It is still a mess. A big rig accident shut down all the outbound lanes of 59 southbound. This was since 2 o'clock this morning. No word on why that 18-wheeler had a wreck there. No one was hurt. It was carrying, we think, some kind of a chemical, but the diesel fuel was all that was spilt. Crews have been working to clean this all up since this morning. Back now to a live look at those cleanup efforts, hoping to have the scene cleared up before the afternoon rush hour, but it is a mess still out there.
All right, so how do you avoid this? How do you get around this? Well, here's Darby Douglas with more on that. Hey, Darby.
Thank you, Ron. Well, the problem's going to be trying to get through downtown on 59. All right, here is downtown itself. You can see 45, 59, very, very slow trying to make your way through downtown. So if you don't have to go downtown, don't. Our problem is just south. It's on 59 southbound. It's the spur. So all lanes are blocked. Traffic will be forced off onto Highway 288. Best way to get around it, instead of coming into downtown, use I-10, take it out to 610, and use that as your alternate route. 610, you can see, is still going to be slow from 45 over to 290. That's because of ongoing construction. You want to avoid that way on 610, and don't go this way because we have that high water at Market Street. Your best bet, I-10 to 610, and then go from there.
All right, thank you so much, Darby. Developing now, the verdict is in the murder trial of a teenager in Spring. Luis Alfaro has been convicted of stabbing and killing his 17-year-old classmate Joshua Broussard during a fight at Spring High School.
This morning, a jury found Alfaro guilty of manslaughter. Alice Barr live outside the courtroom, but the victim's family not happy.
That's right. This has been a very emotional morning here inside the Harris County Courthouse, and it's because of that verdict that it was guilty of manslaughter and not murder for Luis Alfaro, who has now been convicted of stabbing to death a student inside Spring High School last year. And as you mentioned, this was not nearly enough for the victim's family, and we're showing you him now, Joshua Broussard. The family left the courtroom in tears this morning and said in the hallway the justice system is not right. They had been hoping and expecting a murder verdict. The jury saw this surveillance video from inside the school. We're showing you freeze frames from it now. The video never clearly shows the stabbing, but it does show Alfaro and Broussard fighting, then Broussard walking away with blood staining through his shirt and trailing behind. He died shortly after inside the school. The defense argued that you don't see the pair together long enough for Alfaro to have had time to stab Broussard 8 times, and they said he was the wrong guy. But prosecutors say Alfaro admits he brought the knife to school and pulled it out in the fight. Then they say he started slashing, stabbing Broussard and 3 other students who survived. They have moved directly into the sentencing phase now, back inside the courtroom, and prosecutors were going over Alfaro's gang affiliation this morning. They say he came to school the day of the stabbing looking for revenge for his friends beaten up the day before, and they say text messages show he was out for revenge. and that after the murder, he was covered in Broussard's blood. Now, again, the jury is now hearing evidence to decide how to sentence Alfaro. I just heard some very emotional testimony from a Spring High School counselor. Alfaro faces a maximum of 20 years for manslaughter. Had he been convicted of murder, he would have been facing life in prison. Reporting live from the Harris County Courthouse, Alice Barr, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you, Alice. A man thought he was getting a deal on Craigslist buying a PlayStation, but that deal turned deadly when the exchange went down last night. Andrew Horansky is at the Nighthurst Apartments in Southwest Houston.
And good afternoon to you. People living here say there has to be more to it, that this has to be about more than a video game console. But if you talk to detectives, that is exactly what this is about. And they say they even have that Craigslist ad to prove it. Apparently, two brothers pulled in here just before 9:30 last night to buy a PlayStation they saw on Craigslist. No one can say for sure exactly what happened next, if the shooter was the seller in this case, or if he even lived inside this complex. But police say he ran off, and that they are now looking for him. At the same time, those who live here are troubled at the thought of brother seeing brother killed.
I thought it was just somebody, take a board and just slam, throw it down on the floor, and it made it sound like pow, and that was it,
I mean, I don't know what happened, but I just prayed for the family. So, I mean, they were out here all last night. So, like I said, I don't think that's what really happened, so I don't know.
Police say the shooting happened at the point when money was about to be exchanged. Whether the customers didn't want to pay or the seller just didn't want to sell isn't clear. They say, though, that no one appeared to be robbed. In Southwest Houston, I'm Andrew Horansky, KHOU 11 News.
Talking Texans now, they're facing a former teammate when they take on the Raiders in Oakland this Sunday. This will be the first time in 5 seasons Antonio Smith will actually be playing opposite the Texans. And it seems everyone is gearing up for an epic battle. The Ninja says one of his main goals will be stopping Arian Foster.
If you give him a slight curtain, man, he can hurt you pretty bad.
Sorry, Ninja, you're going down. Kickoff for the game is at 3:25 Sunday right here on your favorite TV station.
That's right.
Bye-bye, Ninja.
All right, now we can't really talk Texans without at least mentioning J.J. Watt. And while we are all big fans, we think this little girl may just have us beat.
J.J. Watt! J.J. Watt!
Oh!
This is 2-year-old Zari and her reaction to Watt's $100 million contract. Her parents say every time she even hears JJ's name, she stops whatever she's doing and tries to tackle the nearest family member.
She's trying to take down Dad.
I'll tell you what, good thing she's only 2 right now.
Right, good stuff there. Still ahead on KHOU 11 News, eHarmony is expanding its horizons, matchmaking people to jobs.
Plus, some frightening moments at a school zone.
Last night I felt the car look down and all I seen was my daughter's hoodie and some of my daughter's hair.
A mother watches in terror as her 2 children are run over by a car in a school zone, and they survive.
Plus a man making a large fortune by playing fantasy football. Can you do this?
All right, gotta love your job, man. And a little girl meets the president that says, she was hoping it was gonna be someone else. We'll tell you who could outrank the president after the break.
Texans head to Oakland to match up against David Carr's little brother, Derek. Plus, the NFL under fire as Roger Goodell faces big criticism in light of the Ray Rice video. That's on the next KHOU 11 Sports Extra.
Sunday night after KHOU 11 News, brought to you by Wingstop. You're watching KHOU 11 News at noon with Ron Trevino, Sherman Chow, and meteorologist Brooks Gunner with weather. KHOU 11 News at noon.
Terrifying moment caught on camera in New Hampshire. Take a look. A mother was walking her 2 kids to school when a woman drove up onto the curb and hit the young girls. One child ended up in the bushes. The other had to be pulled out from underneath the car. Amazingly, all 3 survived with only some bumps and bruises. Police say the driver may possibly have been distracted by her own child or may have had a mechanical issue. So far, no charges have been filed.
Scary stuff there. Students at a charter school in Washington, D.C. got a surprise visit from the President of the United States and the First Lady.
Yeah, but some kids were disappointed that it wasn't someone else. Listen.
Somebody special was coming.
Yeah, you thought
I
it was...
really wanted it to be Beyonce.
I understand.
Yeah, you heard right.
The president was at least very understanding about that. Right after young Madison said she wished it was Beyonce, she recovered. She said, no, this surprise was even better.
Nice little backpedal on that.
That's right. That would be the politically correct response.
Indeed.
Time now, 12 minutes after the hour.
Still had a new matchmaking service, but this one isn't catering to couples. It's about careers.
And is it a church or a food truck? See the new way to spread the good word and a good meal.
And Sherman, a little earlier in the day, we were tracking some very heavy rain around southeast Texas, but also up north. Our TransStar camera picked up the flooding earlier. This is around East Loop and the Market Street area. You can see some ponding on some of the side roads here, some of the feeder roads, and also near the areas where a lot of truckers tend to go. That causes significant flooding. So again, turn around, don't drown. We'll have a complete look at your weather forecast for this weekend in just a moment.
Welcome back, everybody. The average employee stays on the job for 4 years.
Now a popular dating site is expanding its domain to turn job postings into long-term relationships. Paula Reed explains how it all works.
Lisa Comento likes her job as a university administrator, but she's searching for a better match.
I am behind the desk, behind a computer every day. 9 to 5.
Lisa is attending networking events, volunteering, and looking online for new career opportunities.
I'm more creative, and I really want a position where I'm working with the public.
Job seekers like Lisa will soon have a new tool to help them find the right fit. The popular dating site eHarmony is launching a new site to help match job candidates with employers.
The product is a career matching product, matching on 3 elements of compatibility: job fit, values and culture fit, and personality fit.
Dan Erickson is the general manager of Elevated Careers by eHarmony and says the website will generate profiles of job seekers based on workplace preferences and personality, and then match them to positions posted by employers.
Over 70% of U.S. workers identify themselves as either not engaged or actively disengaged from their work. They don't feel an emotional and meaningful connection to their work and to their company.
The site launches in December and will initially be free for job seekers. Paula Reed, CBS News, Washington.
And get this, according to eHarmony, matching people for marriage is a $2.5 billion business, but job matching rakes in $80 billion. Wow.
Wow. Marriage based on money there for eHarmony.
What's love got to do with it?
No. Well, a man in Colorado may have found the perfect job for him. He's making tens of thousands of dollars from football every week, and he's not even on the field. 26-year-old Peter Jennings has raked in millions playing in fantasy football leagues. The former stockbroker quit his job to spend 100 hours a week on his teams. He plays with people all over the country, and he says you can cash in too. You just need to learn the habits of your players, both famous and the lesser known, and don't be afraid to make adjustments.
Every player is like a stock. So you kind of get to evaluate players. And some people say the nerd stuff is an insult. I don't take it at all. I mean, I played sports my whole life growing up, but I think this is really, really cool.
Yeah, well, for that kind of money and not nerdy at all. If you're wondering, this is legal. Congress passed a law that protects earning money from fantasy football, arguing it is based on skill, not luck.
And good luck with all that. Meanwhile, back here at home, we're on Weather Watch. The storms created this funnel cloud along FM 646 and Highway 3 in League City. This picture taken by viewer Jeff Ryan. Thank you so much for that, Jeff.
Boy, that's dramatic looking. Yeah. And so is this. We are looking live again at the 610 loop at Market Street on the east side, where those heavy rains have created, man, it's like a little lake out there.
Sure is.
Yeah, backing up traffic as well. Be careful out there, folks.
Yeah, Mario, is it getting better or worse?
Well, on those areas up to the northeast, the storm's seemingly not moving at all, guys. That explains why some of that water has not run into the storm drains and away where they should, because, unfortunately, those roads sometimes act like a storm drain themselves. These pictures were shot right here at our doorstep near Buffalo Bayou. So we're going to be watching all the bayous very carefully for you throughout the day, just in case we see some significant flooding. But the bayous have been running pretty much below bank level, so we're not really worried about any bayou flooding. What we are worried about is flash flooding. That could occur today. Take a look at our forecast and what we're tracking. We're tracking these tropical downpours coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, overnight, we have a cold front that's going to be instrumental in producing even some more concentrated areas of rainfall. As the sea breeze collides with the cold front late this afternoon and early evening, we could see a few spots north of town possibly producing 1 to 3 inches. Again, that's very localized rain, similar to what you're seeing here on Market Street and 610. So here's what's happening. If you look up north, you'll see a frontal boundary producing substantial rainfall up in the north central parts of the state. The front is finally beginning to move. It's moved just to the north of the metro area. But while all that is happening, tropical moisture is moving out of the Gulf of Mexico in abundance, and that's creating these showers you see here around the Aldine area. Earlier, right in this area where you see these lightning strikes move northward towards Aldine, we did see some flooding there. And if you look back to the east, we've seen some very heavy rain still occurring around the 610 loop, back over towards the Beltway, now moving towards Aldine, towards Meadowbrook, and you can see these heavier showers down around the areas of Lake Sheldon. So the Sheldon area getting some rainfall. If we go back to the west, it looks like west of Katy, we're getting some showers now through Brookshire, through looks like areas there of Pleasant Hill, and back over towards Weston Lakes, north of Weston Lakes, some very heavy rain also down to the northwest of Pecan Valley and Pecan Grove, I should say. And also around Anahuac, more of these heavy thunder showers that produced what we saw earlier around League City, these water spouts, these tropical funnels, if you will. Watch out for those. If you do see one, send us one. We will be tracking all this heavy rain through the course of the afternoon. As far as our weather wheel and future track forecast, it's going to be a wet one. Look at all that soggy rainfall moving back up off the Gulf of Mexico and also from the north, substantial rain showers moving towards town. Our weather wheel has a very soggy afternoon in the makings, a 60% chance of rain through the afternoon, guys. And then we get into our weekend forecast with substantial rain showers. The odds for rainfall will increase to about 60% through the course of the afternoon, dropping finally to about 20% for the end of the weekend. And then you see a little bit of a silver lining. Maybe by Sunday, the sunshine will be out with less rainfall. But it's going to be a very soggy start. Look for Friday football to be interrupted by some of these rain showers. That's an important thing because a lot of folks are out there in those stands and there's lots of lightning.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that lightning. All right, thank you so much, Mario.
Well, still ahead, how would you like to be the front man for the best ice cream in the country?
Does it mean I appear on TV? Plus, the Batmobile gets a makeover. Don't go away. Okay, trending right now, the Cape Crusader has a fancy new ride. Here's a first look at the souped-up Batmobile. It's for the upcoming Batman vs. Superman movie. Director Zack Snyder tweeted the photo after teasing partial views of the hot rod earlier this year. It looks quite formidable. Pretty military, yeah.
Yes, it does. Holy hot rod, Batman.
Indeed.
All right. Have you ever dreamed of being on TV? Well,
no.
here's your
I have nightmares of it.
You could star in a Bluebell ice cream commercial. Just submit a 20-second clip on Bluebell's website explaining why you would be great in one of their ads, Ron. Deadline, September 20th. The winner will get an all-expense-paid trip to Brenham and a role in their next commercial.
And maybe some free ice cream while you're at it.
That would be great.
Okay, now to a bizarre story out of New York.
Yeah, most students want their awkward photos out of the yearbook, but one guy fighting to put his in. Take a look. This is high school senior Draven Rodriguez's senior portrait. It is Draven and his cat. He loves his cat a lot, apparently.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, this is in front of a laser background, and then his cat is superimposed up top there.
Nicely done. Well, now he's petitioning his school in New York to let him use this wild picture in the yearbook. Right now, he's only assuming that the school's going to fight him on this laser cat photo thing, so he's just planning ahead. I don't know. I like it.
Do you? You want... Oh, I can get one done for you.
Oh, I think it's perfect for a high school yearbook.
That'll be a memory. Coming up on 11 News at noon, a church that's really bringing its mission to the streets.
We'll explain how they spread the good word next.
All right, taking another TransStar look outside. This is going to be at 45 North and West Road on the north side of town. Man, that rain is coming down hard. Traffic moving very slowly.
Cats and dogs. All right, one more look at the weather now with Mario.
Yeah, those storms that are drifting north are producing anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch per hour, and that's why we're seeing that flooding. Again, that's along I-45 and West Road. Notice that storm up to the north and all the lightning associated with it, up to 172 lightning strikes, guys. We are going to be back this afternoon. We're going to be tracking the weather all afternoon and early evening for Friday Night Football.
Thank you so much, Mario.
Well, finally this afternoon, check out a way to spread the good word and some good food. A church in the Twin Cities is bringing its mission to the streets, running exclusively out of a food truck.
Yeah, the pastor in charge of Shobi's Table Lutheran Church says the food truck helps reach people who not only need a meal, but need a message of hope as well.
Between serving meals, the church holds services. It's run every Sunday by volunteer church staff.
Good way to end our Food Truck Friday, right?
Yeah.
Amen to that.
That's right. Good thoughts, folks. Take care and stay dry.